baby. I contribute nothing and only one where goo goo ga. Go fuck yourself, babies. Ha ha! Got 'em! This is the one where people try to convince me to like babies. I was joined by hilarious comedian Katy Berry and wonderful burlesque performer Genevieve Billingsley, who goes by the name Miss Candy Apples in the burlesque circuit. They like babies. I think that they make such weird smells and take away attention I would rather be putting on myself and things that I want to focus on. But maybe they convinced me. Who knows? Enjoy.
You may love a thing that I can't stand. Spiders, tofu, watching Homeland. Our interests are all varying. It's fun to be contrarian. But I'll try things that you all love to see if I can rise above. But maybe there's a chance that I just won't. So in that case, don't mind if I don't.
Welcome to Don't Mind If I Don't. I'm your host, Aaron Gold. This is the show where I don't like things, and fans and experts come on and convince me why I'm wrong, so the little black spot in my heart will hopefully evaporate into a full, normal heart thing. And I know that I'm the bad guy, because today we're talking about babies. I don't give a fuck about babies. I think that they are just annoying, dumb, small humans. I like baby animals, so if either of my lovely guests are going to try and convince me on that, let me tell you, straight up, don't go down that road. I'll talk about baby foxes all day. But we have two lovely baby experts. I legitimately believe these two to be extremely baby-esque experts. Ooh, that felt wrong. I don't know. First up, we have a nurse who has actually delivered babies. She is also an older sister, a mother, and a grandmother, and a burlesque dancer by the name of Candy Apples. Give it up for Genevieve Billingsley.
Hello.
Hey, Genevieve.
Hi.
Do you prefer Jen?
Jen, Jenny, hey you.
Oh, man.
I've heard it all.
Awesome. Well, then I have so much power in this scenario.
Yes, you do.
Also joining us, we have comedian in hip-hop improv group North Coast, as well as, now this is super important because two improv groups she is in have babies in them. She is a member of Sexy Baby, which is a megawatt performer, and the musical improv group Baby Wants Candy.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, really? But aside from that, she is a childless lover of babies who has helped raise one for years.
Yes.
Katy Berry is back.
What's up, motherfuckers?
What's up, motherfuckers?
I'm here repping the fucking waddling, toddling little ones.
Toddling. Yeah, also, it is one of the first episodes with our new theme song, which we had debuted originally in the last episode you were on, the Emojis episode.
Ooh.
So, Katie, we've got so many themes.
Oh my God, so much is happening, and I just feel like the stars are aligning, and everything happens for a reason, and this whole experience confirms that to me. Thank you.
Guys, we're all going to get pregnant tonight.
Oh my God.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Magic.
Okay, so everything that comes on this show gets rated on a scale of 0 to 10. 0 being total ambivalence, 10 being blood-curdling hatred. Babies.
Oh my God. If
Clock
you say 10,
in.
I'm going to fucking punch you.
At a 15. No, they clock in at a 3. I think babies are annoying, but that number goes up to a 4 depending on the parents. Because and I knew when I put the call out for, hey, I need people that are experts in babies, I knew I'd get this at least 5 times, and I did. Someone's like, oh, I can convince you to like babies. You haven't met mine yet.
Oh,
I got that all the, yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying.
As a mother and grandmother, that's bullshit.
It's the worst thing to say.
Complete bullshit.
So why do you guys like babies?
Okay. Well,
Yeah, Jen.
well, let's start off my adulthood. I turned 18 and adopted 2 kids. But they were toddlers, so they weren't babies. They were toddlers. So
How old were they?
They were 1 and just turned 3. So they're 15 months apart. So they're
Do me a favor, ignore everything about the 3-year-old, but the 1-year-old still counts.
The 1-year-old was so fucking cute and sweet and just, but I had known them from babies because I knew their birth mother. So I liked them, but I was always the person, I loved babies, but I loved them when they weren't mine so I could give them back. That was the best part about being the older sister. It was like, all right, you take this child back. They have done some sort of, like, stuff is coming out of their body, and please take it away. Like, you clean that up. You made it.
Yeah, that's why I like other people's dogs.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pick up their poop.
Exactly. I don't want to be sticking my hands in some... But
I love that.
You love that poop?
I love picking up any kind of feces, warm in my hand.
We're going to use this clip for your voiceover reel.
I'm just kidding.
But no, I liked the kids, so I committed to that. And then I made the mistake. I got pregnant right afterwards.
Ooh, girl.
Yeah. Oh, not with
had
one.
sex.
I got pregnant with two.
You had twins?
I had twins.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like, they're now officially, they are the youngest. That was it. I stopped having kids at that point. I was like, I will. And now my oldest has a baby. My oldest has a baby. I'm a grandmother. And I was like, I love that she was like, I don't know about it. I'm like, well, babies are dumb. Babies are stupid. That was my very first piece of advice. But I'm very choosy on which babies I like. Again, it's related to the parents. I've said some really awful things to parents before in public about their children.
You got to share at least one.
I have no problem. I have told mothers that it's really sad that they don't know how to swallow. Or that they don't swallow.
Now...
Instead of putting the cum inside of their uterus, you mean they should drink the cum?
Swallow
okay, good.
it.
You do
and
mean that.
I
Consume
do
the
mean
cum.
that.
Because I was
I'm
wondering,
like,
I was just like, is swallow like a thing that you do
Oh,
with
no.
babies that I don't
You
understand?
don't know, if you swallow semen and it goes in your stomach,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't make a baby. Babies don't grow in your stomach.
babies
Okay.
do not grow
They
in
grow in
stomachs.
your uterus.
I have been lied to multiple times.
Yes, it does not work that way. And I've also told fathers that they should have just pulled out and left that one on the sheets.
Ooh. Spicy.
Because when I really don't like your child, I'm going to let you know you fucked up. It's not too late for an abortion.
Oof. Okay, so I like where you're coming from. But Katie, why do you like babies?
I like babies because my experience with raising a little tiny baby taught me like empathy, and scientifically, like I found out most of the things that make babies annoying, if you get like a book about developmental psychology or just like where their heads are at, there's usually like a really interesting cause. And it made me really respect the fuck out of babies. And also, oh God, and they just make you, everything they do is a first and everything they see is a first. And even every emotion they develop, you watch them struggle to understand what the fuck the feeling is. And they have no way of articulating it. And it just makes you flash back to like being a child and experiencing things that way. It's just so fucking interesting raising kids.
Okay.
That is true. She's far more clear and concise and a lot less hatred towards children than I have, apparently.
Yeah, we're supposed to be convincing them to enjoy babies.
Oh, I'm just saying, I understand.
No, you guys
I
are laying
can
great
get
groundwork
there.
because, like, yeah, I'm empathized with. I feel heard. No, but wait. So, Katie, how did you raise a baby? Why'd you raise a baby?
So when I was 21, I started dating this guy whose ex-girlfriend was eight months pregnant. Look, before you judge me, listening people, I was, looking for love in all the wrong places. But the point is, I got with this guy. I moved in with him when the baby was 3 months old. And I stayed with him until she was a little after 4 years old. So, like, admittedly, I wasn't around the clock mom, but I did like potty train her, and when she woke up in the night screaming and puking, like all that stuff I got to experience, which gave me such a fucking clarity and insight into motherhood that I wish that all women could have before they do things like get knocked up to patch up their relationship or romanticize it and then like throw themselves at like. I do think motherhood in so many ways is fucking incredible, and raising kids will change you. I don't think it's for everyone.
No, it's definitely not for everyone.
And I think it's okay for it to not be for everyone. And I'm totally pro-choice. But What
Okay,
the fuck am I talking about? Okay, go on.
Yeah, and if you guys had a way of discerning who can have babies and who couldn't. Ooh, this might, as I say this out loud, I'm realizing that's very authoritarian.
No
Yeah.
narcissist should have children.
Okay.
Yeah, there's I know I get into like this sticky situation. So my kid's birth mother has had 9 children.
Yeah.
9 children. She has custody of none of them.
Oh,
she has
shit.
abandoned all of them. She's done it to keep the guy around. She's that person who's like, oh, we're so in love. Oh, he's going to break up with me. Quick, pregnant.
That's what happened to my ex.
9 freaking kids. And they've been, the last 3 were taken away by the state, like where there was a social worker waiting while she's in labor. So
Oh my God.
I am one of those people who feels like a psych evaluation. I had to go through a psych evaluation. I had to go through rigorous psych evaluations just to adopt. They don't let you buy a kid without a psych eval and showing that you can financially support this child. And, you know, there's a lot of testing to buy a kid. But when you make a kid, it's just who stuck a dick into what
That's so
hole
true.
and magically
Into what hole?
Into what hole? And then what? Well,
No, please answer the question. Which hole?
a vagina is the technical term, but
Good.
then
All
people
right.
have started calling it their yoni and their other little. And I'm like,
Wait, what?
oh,
My
mhm.
little pissa clam. I call it my little hairy pissa clam.
Oh, I love that one.
That's a great one. I call it nature's pocket. I like to store things in there, you know. Nature's pocket. She likes to tuck things in there. But no, it's like that's a completely different podcast.
I don't think it is. I think
or
we're good.
we can just keep going on nature's pocket.
Yeah.
No,
I like all of them except gash. I heard gash once and I was like, ooh, that's not cool.
Yes.
Because it sounds like it's
It sounds like
violent.
I was like, that's
And
like-
also like it was something done to you.
Thank you. I think
Yes.
of gash and I'm like, I've seen a gash. I worked in an ER. I've seen what gashes look like.
My pussy
That's
is not a
what-
fucking gash.
That's magic.
Speaking of working in an ER, okay, so you both mentioned the poopy and all the gross shit about babies. Like, I mean, with baby animals, you can pet them, and then that's your time with the baby animal, and it's great. You can't pet a human baby; it's weird. And then
you
they
100%
shit
I
all the
always
time.
pet
and
my
it's
kids
the best
when-
part of them.
Also, kid, you know, like my kids always like their finger, they me to scratch them on their backs.
Sure.
And like run my fingernails through their hair. So I
They're
mean,
so-
you can still treat them like tiny dogs. You just
They are so much
gotta-
like dogs.
They are like dogs.
How are they
My
like
kid-
dogs?
Oh
You-
my
Dogs
God.
are
Have
fun.
you ever,
Babies
you know, the
are
red
not.
laser light beam? Okay. Moment of truth here. As a mother, I used to, especially very pregnant with twins, I used to entertain my toddlers by playing 2 games. Catch the light, which was the red laser pointer, dot pointer that I just threw out there.
Yeah.
Or a game that my oldest titled Catch Me, Nanny, Nanny, Boo Boo, which was I got to throw Nerf footballs at their heads. It was like the duck shooting game, but they would just run back and forth and I would just throw a football and I'd beam them in the head and they thought it was great. We
Okay.
also-
That
like,
sounds great. That sounds like
Like,
I could have
these
fun
are-
with a kid if I could rough it up a little bit.
you have to
Oh my
like, oh my
God,
God,
yes.
they love it.
Kids love roughhousing. And it's so fun when they want to wrestle with you and they're little and they're crawling all over you and you're just like, blah, and like throwing them on the bed, jumping on the bed with them. Like,
we broke
kids are fucking awesome. Like, kids are everything that
They
you
are.
wish you could be, like that freedom and that fun. And yeah, they are like dogs. A lot of the training things that you read when you're potty training dogs, it's the same shit for kids. It's like positive
Yeah.
reinforcement. It's like, well, actually, dogs don't really care about attention-seeking behavior, but like a lot of the methods are the same, and but kids like grow up and can have conversations with you.
Oh my God. And having like watching them have the moment of like awareness of when they understand things. Of course, that happens all the way up until they're teens where you're just sitting there and suddenly they get a joke.
I mean, I'm 29 and
you're
I'm
like-
still getting that.
And my kids will, my kids are,
Yeah, we've seen your comedy.
Oh, ow.
Zing.
And well earned.
And not denying it at all. No,
my God.
My kids but when they were little and they would understand things and then just have that moment of, I got that joke. I got that joke. And I was like, yeah. Also, why do you get that joke? Like, what have I been doing as a parent? Like,
oh my God. Kids are so, oh my God. I mean, we're not even talking about babies at this point anymore,
Yeah.
but we're talking about
let's-
toddlers.
Let's focus,
Okay.
let's focus on babies because
babies.
toddlers can at least crawl somewhere or understand basic human speech. Like what? Wait, no, toddler is 3 years old, right?
toddler starts around, well, I don't know. Technically, they start
When
talking
they
about
toddler is a
18
term
months.
invented by
The greeting card
marketing
company.
companies. No, honestly, because
really?
yes,
Yeah.
it's the same thing as tween. It's a marketing term that was invented to sell clothes and find a demographic to pinpoint.
Who's trying to sell to toddlers?
Have you ever been in I want to
Oh,
fucking
okay,
buy all kinds of toddler clothes.
Yeah, but aren't those geared towards the parents? They're not trying to gear towards toddler.
No, they're not
the toddler is
targeting
not
the toddlers.
taking $20 out of it.
No, they're targeting the
No.
parents.
Okay.
But it used to just be babies and kids.
Yeah.
And then it became toddlers.
So once the kid was potty trained, they kind of saw him as, okay, now you're a kid. What we now see as preschoolers. So babies were basically babies when you're in the diaper. And then as soon as you're out of a diaper and you're not shitting your own pants, you're a kid.
All right, let's stay on the pants shitters because those little bastards are fucking I know I'm me, but they're loud. They are.
Pants shitters are loud?
Well, yeah.
What do you mean? Crying?
They're good at
Babies
it.
cry
Yeah,
loud?
it's just so much work and attention. Granted, I would have a different opinion if I made one. If I'm raising my own kid, I'm sure I'll love my kid. I'll be that annoying parent
No,
who's
you will not always love your kid.
Oh, no.
I promise you.
Okay, go
Yeah,
on.
there are
Speak on
times that you're just I fucking hate you. I used to.
You're supposed to convince him to love babies.
No, I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, I dig
You're
this.
going to love the kid. And that's why, because you allow yourself to have moments of, I fucking hate this kid. Why can't I put you back? I used to, and my older two, I used to just be like, this is not what I paid for.
Yeah.
But the youngest, it was what the hell? And
Yeah.
but those are very few. And if you allow yourself to have that moment and just walk away, you're going to be like, yeah, I really appreciate this kid. I'm sorry. I just hated you for a moment.
See, I can see myself having that for my own children, though. I can see myself going oh, you annoy me, but I still love you, as I feel about pretty much everybody I care about.
Yeah.
Katie. But outside of that, we're friends.
Yeah, all right. Go on.
Anyway, where was I?
We were talking about pants shitters hating kids.
Pants shitters. If outside of my own, I don't see the point other than, I know they'll grow up to be human people, but also people suck. I don't.
But it's so depends. When a baby is born, some things are genetically predetermined. And if your baby is going to be colicky, if it's going to have health issues, and it's going to fucking cry more and stuff. But the parenting methods, are everything. I mean, the daughter, the little girl that I used to take care of, I feel it's weird talking about her now because it's been a while. But
You still in contact?
no, when we broke up, that was his one thing. He was that was his thing he could take away from me. And I was like, oh, fuck you. But anyway, it was crazy because when she was at our house, she 100% modeled everything with her communications with people and how she saw the world and shit was modeled on how me and my ex were talking to each other and interacting with things. And she went and stayed at her mother's house, a completely different environment. She would come back reflecting that behavior. And it was so clear how fucking malleable she is, because to fault the baby for acting like a little brat or a little turd, blah, 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 it's no, they are fucking born like a lump of clay with scrambled egg brains. And if you they are going to model their understanding of the world after your behavior. So they 100% will hold up a mirror to how you speak to the people you love in your household and whether you approach things negatively or positively, that they will exhibit it in their own behavior.
Okay, so as part of the appeal of babies, the fact that, I am imprinting on this child.
Nature versus nurture is a big thing in psychology, especially child psychology. Nature is what is genetically they're predetermined to have, whether it be later on in life they have, whether they're on the spectrum or whether they are going to develop they'll have certain developmental disabilities, or even develop mental illness later on down in life. There's the genetic code, and then the nurture is knowing that what you are doing is going to somehow influence this child and change how they were. I did so much research on nature versus nurture as an adoptive mom, because I knew that with coming from two biological parents who have severe mental illness, I was going to be starting off trying to erase everything that they've imprinted on those two and try and fix, heal all of that mental damage and fix and create this building blocks of making them decent humans. I wasn't about to be like, here, I'm sorry, I tried my best. Take these shitty humans.
So is part of the appeal being able to...
Well, I see that with other people's kids, especially other people's babies. If I'm around them, I try and be as positive as I possibly can, because I know that me being shitty at the kid is probably not the kid's fault. Yeah. And it's awesome to also see, especially with I have 17 nieces and nephews. Sorry.
Wow.
I'm wait, nope, there was another one that was added. So having that many nieces and nephews and knowing that I don't like them half the time, some of the time, especially the older ones, but the babies, I was like, I'm going to be that cool aunt. I'm going to be the one that makes them laugh. And now, I have two nieces that really have this bond with me, because I would just swoop in, be that really cool person. And then I was like, oh, you're turning into an asshole. I got to leave.
Well, yeah. I think babies are, one of the heartbreaking things is seeing a baby who's so fucking sweet and the picture of innocence, everything you love about baby animals is in a fucking baby. They are helpless and innocent and good and just so precious and so rare. To have that amount of a blank slate, and we're living in a Trump era. It's just so refreshing and soothing in a way, and therapeutic. When you see them start to grow up and become assholes.
Yes.
It's heartbreaking. But on the other hand, there are some kids, you see them grow up and they are unbelievably intelligent and they have great parents and they're funny and they make fucking hilarious remarks and their personality starts to develop. And it's a lot of it is just the parenting. So I think if you don't like babies, I think it's you have to take stock in babies are not the fucking problem,
Okay, so now we're really getting to it.
It's
maybe I don't have a problem with babies. Maybe I have a problem with shitty parents.
Yeah,
shitty parenting. That's
so shitty parenting is what I have a problem with. Hence, all of my insults directed at parents. Although I will admit, I did call a 2-year-old a fuck trophy the other day.
Oh, well, now you have to share this story.
I was on the. I'm glad we can swear.
It's mandatory.
I was on the plane, so I was flying back from Seattle to New York, and this child is throwing this temper tantrum and is screaming and having a fucking fit, and I was like, good, this woman and her fucking fuck trophy just is allowing it to do whatever the hell it wants to do. And I was like, why? And mom was just checked out. And I was like, no, we are about to fly nonstop. You better turn that right back on and you better pay attention to your child, because I'm sitting in front of it and my seat is moving and it's shrieking. And I was like, oh God, please. And called her a fuck trophy. Not very happy about, like texting angrily, this fucking fuck trophy. And then it turns out mom the little mom had moved the son up next to me. So it turns out that the boy next to me was the older brother. And he was like, yeah, she has an ear infection. And
Aww.
she's like, and apparently they were getting out of an abusive situation.
Oh.
And I was like, well, now I feel like an asshole.
Yeah.
They were flying from Alaska to New York to go back to family. So they had to lay over in Seattle, got bumped from their flights. And then I was like, now I feel like a jerk. But it still didn't stop. It was like, mom, be attentive. Mom, be attentive. Still, I was like, be a mom, because I was also that mom at one point with kids. I was like, you have to be aware.
I mean, no, we can all agree no parent is perfect.
No parent is perfect.
And that's the point. Like, a big part of growing up, I feel like, is realizing, oh, my parents didn't know shit. And like,
oh yeah,
my parents especially had a big old handful, because this is what I am like as an adult. This is what I am like after I learned the few social cues I understand. Like me from birth till like 13, I pity my mother and father, and am so grateful that they did not just like put rocks in my pocket and throw me in a lake, because I earned it. But I guess using me as an example, I must have been, well, would that make me nature or nurture or both? I
think it's a combination of both, because personalities are different. Like my son is he's 21 now, but he was the 1-year-old that I adopted. And oh my God, he was the kid that just learning how to talk and like form thoughts. He was the brilliant kid that I was like, oh, what are you? Look at you, smarty pants.
Yeah.
And then my youngest daughter was like, oh, hey, let me just show you a few things here. But he was the kid who was running, stops dead in his track as I'm like, don't you even think about it, as he on the curb. Stands on the very curb, and he's looking at the street, and he goes, I'm thinking about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mommy, you hear me? I'm thinking about it. And I'm just like, fine, think about it all you want. Don't do it. Like,
see, that sounds like I'd hate those children.
Yes.
I'm sorry to insult your son.
No. I was like, oh, you better not fucking. And then he like got older and started becoming the kid that was very observant. Like puberty hit and he got quiet. And I was like, are you plotting? Like, am I going to have the next like serial killer in my hands?
I feel like that's the title of a really dark novel. Puberty hit and then it got quiet.
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
That's scary. Because he was masturbating all the time. Are you masturbating in? No, get out, Mom.
Need me to show you?
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, I think like to your point of like reflecting on how you were as a kid.
Yeah,
that's another thing that was really cool. Raising, I don't know. Should I use her real name? Is that weird?
I mean, it's your.
I don't know. No one's ever gonna listen to it.
Don't
Dahlia.
use last name.
Her name was Dahlia.
Dahlia. Ooh.
Really cute name. Anyway, she made me. I was like, okay, well, I was raised by a 19-year-old woman and her 10-year-older husband, who my dad was kind of like. He was, not the best probably parents at the time, but trying. Mm-hmm. But some people are just like, oh, well, my dad spanked me and I came out fine and blah, blah, blah. And they're just kind of like very content to continue the cycle. But when I'm raising this kid, I was like thinking of what she's going through, like, and I reflect on my own childhood, and it makes you want to be a better person. And it makes you, if you are the kind of person who is introspective and self-aware, to like break the cycle and to really think about like memories and things that might have like affected you in little ways, and you want to do better, I think.
So part of the appeal of babies, not even just having them, but just in general, is that they make you reflect on your own growth.
Make you want to be a better person. They make you want to break the cycle that, everyone can look at whatever fucked up family dynamic they have, and it's because great-great-great-grandpa, was a drinker in the war and beat his wife because he was sad about his dead friend. And then the wife took the kid and fucking beat them and blah, blah, blah. And it goes down. Like
it does.
There's
it's a ladder, and it just ends up when you go on this ladder, sometimes the rungs just disappear and everybody's just free falling into this weird cycle of violence, and they take it out on children.
And it's like all kinds of shit, but like not just violence, but any kind of like family like issues. But when you are like, oh, I have control and I can like end that, then it's pretty great, actually, I think.
And and I was going to piggyback on that and say that even if you are not the parent, you have that, and this is where it ties back to like family or just kids that you're around. Like these babies, you're going to be that person that can break that cycle, even if you're just by being around them.
Yeah, being a good influence.
There were a lot of people, I remember that like people that would talk to me about how, they were like inspired by other, you'd hear about it later with teachers and things like that. But people talking about how they even remember their babysitters being like this safe person, that when mom or dad left, that the babysitter was suddenly the safe person, like influencing. And so
I do remember one of my babysitters as like the cool one.
Yeah. But that's just it, is that even as a person who's not involved in the kid's life all the time, but just kind of around, you can be that person that also can kind of break that cycle for them, but because you might actually influence them to be a little bit more aware of what's happening to them.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Is any part of the appeal of babies and being able to imprint on them is like, does it set off the same part of your brain like a power trip might set off? Is there power that is satisfying in that?
For some people, absolutely. I think people.
But what about you guys?
Not for me. No, it's not about power, but like my best friend just had a baby and he's still like a little nugget, and he's not one yet. He's that precious age where he's just everything that's going on. I swear to God, I like rock him in his little rocking chair and he just looks up at me with these big eyes and he's just like figuring out like, who are you? And like it just chokes me up because he gives me so much hope for the future, because I'm like, you're not going to be a Harvey Weinstein. Like you're not going to be, I'm just like, we're gonna, and especially in times like this where I'm really frustrated with the opposite sex, with cis men.
Oh no, we are the worst.
Yeah, but when I hold this little tiny baby boy and I'm like, you are fucking perfect. Like you rely on me right now. And like,
so there's optimism in it.
There's total optimism.
Okay.
And so it's not so much like a power trip. It's I guess it is taking like power over the future.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's taking control of society.
Yeah, you're able to mold a bit of the future in a tangible way immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. My ex-husband and I are like two polar opposites, like when it came to everything, but like parenting, he saw parenting as a dictatorship. He was in charge and everyone was his minion. And he had that control over, well, you better, I'm your father. You carry my name. I made you sort of thing. Whereas I saw it as a democracy.
Yeah.
I was like, hey kids, I didn't care that I'm talking to two doughy faced toddlers. I was like, no, we're going to talk about this. I want you to be excited about this big move we're going on that you have no control over.
Yeah.
Like I wanted them to feel like, heard. Because I felt, I wanted them to feel heard, and I wanted them to feel like they had some sort of say in things, because as they got older, they did. And it was because as a kid growing up, my parents made all the decisions. They would have family meetings where you would gather between 7 to 10 children, depending on how many people were staying with us.
What is your background where there's these litter of children in every...
My parents...
She's a cocker
fucked
spaniel.
like bunnies. Like I kid you not, a week after, to the day of my 6th birthday, my baby sister, who was baby number 5, was born. My parents just like nailed us out, or banged us out. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the nomenclature gets stopped up on.
I think, but the thing is that we were like, my sister and I were planned, and the rest were all birth control babies. My mom, I was like, Mom, you do know that you have to put the condom on in order for it to work, right? You have to use the sponge.
I get how condoms work. I looked at it for a full minute.
Like, no, and it was like, Mom, which of course it wasn't like, but whatever. I mean, they had us all, and then they were foster parents, so they wouldn't just take in like 1 or 2. They would take in a whole
litter,
family, another litter, like because
a gaggle. A gaggle of goo-goo gaggles.
We're a murder of children.
All right, well, let me. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that, like, when you look at it like that, when it comes to how you're parenting, yeah, you can have that power, that feeling of like, I have full control over you, and you are gonna listen to me, or you can just go at it as in like, hey, I kind of want to hear your input. Like, even with chores, my kids had to do it. You could tell me how much you didn't want to do it. That's fine. Those are your feelings. They're valid. But you better do it.
So it sounds like raising kids makes you more optimistic.
Well, I think it's also fucking crushing. It's also scary as hell. I mean, look, yes, it's optimistic, but also you are going against the powers that be. Like, Dahlia was a little girl, and knowing the world she was coming up in, and knowing that it didn't matter how much I taught her to love herself and to not put beauty first, but be a good person, and that she didn't have to like look a certain way. She left the house, to go be with, grandma or whatever. And, there's going to be, Barbie shows and dolls and all these messages that you are up against that are going to keep attacking her every time she leaves your care. And that is really difficult.
Yeah. That is.
And that's something I think, with babies.
It even starts when they're babies.
Yeah. No, it does.
Putting them in little fluffy fruit.
Yeah, the genderizing.
Pink
and
dresses oh, it's a girl. I'm going to throw this big pink balloon, and look, it's a girl. Oh, it's a boy.
It's scary. Like, being a parent, like, taking care of a baby is scary for so many reasons. I mean, they're physically fragile.
Yeah. See, and I'm a big guy, and like, I feel like whenever somebody offers me to hold their baby, I'm like, you realize you're playing with fire here.
You could drop a baby and it's not going to break that bad. Trust me.
Find that
It's just going to bruise the fruit.
No, it's going to be, just don't poke the soft spot on the top of it. Trust me, as
Babies
an
are
ER nurse,
rubbery.
I worked in the pediatric unit.
You've seen a lot of babies.
I've seen a lot of babies come in, and I was like, actually, the baby is just fine. A little bit, just don't drop them on their head. That's the. I mean, they're giant. Their heads are giant, so you just.
I'm getting anxiety just hearing about this.
I'm saying when you hold it, sit down. That's the easiest way. You can't drop it very far.
I will take that challenge.
You sit down and hold that baby.
You can walk around with a football in your hands, and you're not like fucking constantly scared you're going to drop the football, right? I mean, unless if you're like throwing it around. But like, if someone's like, here, just hold this football, you're not like, like, it's
Katie, have you met me? I've never even touched a football.
I was wondering, have you even?
No.
Do you know what one looks like?
They're the brown ones, right?
Yeah. I guess. I'm sure they could.
None of us know.
I mean,
a lot of them are brown, aren't they?
Only because, but the squishy ones are the ones that are like different colored and neon, and you can throw them at your children.
But can I say something about babies?
No. This is not the place for it.
All right, I'm going to go ahead anyway. Fuck you. So babies, yes. Do they get annoying? Yes. Do they like cry? All that shit? Yes. Here's what helped me. I found when Dahlia was a baby and she was like screaming all the shit, a lot of the instinct is to immediately be like, why are you doing this to me? Why do you hate me? Why are you trying to get at me?
I'm laughing at that, but Genevieve just nods.
Oh, you will feel it.
Oh,
you will
it is.
Feel it.
It's like, why are you putting this?
It feels like a personal attack.
It is.
But it's not though, because so that's when I started. That's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna fucking look at this. I'm gonna delve into some books here, figure out what's going on, and they they're testing boundaries. Like when they go into the no phase, they don't fucking know what no means. They just know it has power and they're testing it and they're seeing. And
I just thought all 3-year-olds were shitty.
No, it's because you're always telling them no, you can't have that. No. So they
like,
know
this
that
means something.
So that's why some kids,
So
that's
it's
what
them grasping at power.
it's them learning.
But also at the same time, they're testing boundaries, but they don't know what's on the other side of that boundary. It could be, oops, I blink mommy into an abyss. And that, like, it's fucking scary. They're literally, everything they do is like walking on like spiderweb cracks on a frozen lake to them. They have no fucking idea what the next thing could bring. And to think of being born into the world where everything is huger than you, everything is louder, everything is you just don't have any bearing on like time or space or whatever. You are an adventurer just in unknown territory, and that is scary as fuck.
You brought up a really good point that I liked.
I know.
Which
one?
The one about how like they don't understand what's on the other end of those boundaries. Someone broke down for me how fucked up a game peekaboo is.
Yeah.
Because babies, like when
They're like, oh, mommy's dead.
mommy is gone. They don't have
Mommy's
object
head
permanence.
just
They think-
disappeared.
Yeah. And their laughter of when they see mommy again is not laughter. It's not funny. It's relief. They
It's
just
relief.
don't have
It's
that
just
kind of nuanced emotion yet.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and so and that's why when people talk about, oh, this kid is crying and screaming every time at bedtime, I've heard a lot. I mean, this is when a lot of shaken baby syndrome situations have happened, is at bedtime. And it's because the kid is screaming and will not stop screaming. And the reason why most of the time is not because of the fact that the old wives' tale is that it's spoiled. Oh, your child, don't hold it. Don't let it hold it while it cries. You'll spoil it. Yeah. My daughter was being told that by my former mother-in-law. And I was like, how do you fucking spoil a baby? It's a dumb baby.
Yeah, they can't
This
fucking
baby is not like,
you.
oh, look at, I just totally did that. Mom just totally fell for my bullshit.
Yeah, they like are shitting themselves and like don't know what their fucking fingers are.
When she's
That's
13.
a really good point. I never considered that before.
Yeah, no, and so when
my mic.
the baby
Yep, I did. Oh, I knew it running this whole thing.
What
It's
happened?
okay.
I turned down my mic for a bit, but I think it'll be fine. I'm a loud guy. Go on. Yes.
No,
babies.
I was going to say, because the babies, when they scream and cry, it's because you disappear.
Yeah.
You close a door and they're in this dark room where there's lots of fucking scary shadows, because parents don't think about this shit when they set up all the little night lights and all the toys and all the things. Think of all of those giant looming scary shapes, and you don't know what's going to move and get you. You don't know what's going on. Like, this kid is not sure of anything, because suddenly everything that they could see disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the safe humans have disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So this is why it's like, parents don't think about these things, and
then
so
they shake their kids
and
because
then
they're
they
like,
get mad.
you
It's
little
like, what
shit, you're manipulating me. You fucking aren't listening. Like, why, and all this anger bubbles up, which that is what was happening to me. And I was like, I don't want to be angry. I don't want to and when I learned all this, I was like, it was this fucking weight off my chest. And then I was able to and I'm a very impatient person, but taking care of a baby, it taught me patience. It taught me empathy. Like, babies are fucking kind of badass little, if you get inside their head, I mean, I couldn't be an astronaut because the idea of being an astronaut scares the fucking shit out of me. But babies are all kids they're all astronauts that didn't fucking ask to be hurled into space.
Yeah,
they didn't ask for it, but they're floating through space.
They're like, we're here. We're just going to make the best of it.
Let me ask you guys this. Since the whole goal today is to get me to like babies, I feel like maybe this will help. I don't think babies are cute. Why? What is wrong with me? How do we fix
You're
it?
not,
I do think that some babies are ugly and some babies are cute.
Yeah, but
Maybe
all of them
you've
just look
seen
like
mostly-
babies to me. I don't know if it's because I've got face blindness or what, but they all just, I'm like, yep, tiny human.
It could be face blindness. I mean, there are some babies where I'm like, whatever.
Oh,
like,
God.
exactly. I feel the same way. Like most babies, I'm like, yeah, baby. But then some babies are so fucking goofy looking that.
Oh.
So I actually like when they're a little like ridiculous looking. Like ones with huge eyes, like bugging out of their heads.
Well, that's
so
cute,
fucking
but
cute.
I
My
mean-
friend's son looked like, so you know the Curious Case of Benjamin Button?
Yes.
Yeah.
He looked like Benjamin Button when he was born, like old man Benjamin Button. I was like,
Katie is busting out her
you
phone right now.
look like he looked, and I couldn't tell them that he was cute. Well, hopefully my friends don't hear this.
I feel like it must be like
He's
telling
like
someone that a
5 years
play that
old
you
now,
saw
and I'm like, you
wasn't really
just
good.
look the same. He just looks like he's 8. I don't get it, and the ears and the whole thing. I was like, oh, you guys are both beautiful people, and you made
an ugly baby.
that. Did it get switched at birth with like? Were there trolls that were in the next room over that
No.
like were ogres? Like I
Okay,
don't know.
So all right, so you guys are reinforcing in me
babies-
my choice of
No.
babies are dumb.
Well, babies can be ugly.
They're not-
They are dumb. But
All right,
that's
well,
also
yeah.
your influence. But that's also where
They
we
are
were like,
dumb, but they don't
meant
have
the
a
concept
choice.
of baby.
I mean, you.
Oh no, they can be cute. It's just like also genetically, when you have made a baby, it's actually a biological thing in your makeup to.
Are you just looking at baby pictures now?
Yeah.
Katie?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the fucking. Okay, ready? I'm gonna show you several.
I was
Sorry,
Okay.
I need to-
We'll
Yeah.
see what I feel when I see these.
Okay, first of all, here's what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Sometimes you have to stop looking at like a classically cute baby and laugh at how fucking goofy and ridiculous they are, and that is endearing. Like
I
that
feel
is
like I
Let's
need to
hope.
break out photos.
Because whenever my girlfriend shows me a picture of like, oh, look at this baby, I'm like, it's a baby.
So like
Shrug.
my friend had this baby who accident, like his name is Alexander and they call him Xander, but I call him Al because everything he does when he was little, he just looked like a fucking grumpy middle-aged Italian
Those
man.
are the best
Look
ones.
at this
I
picture
feel
of
nothing
his
at
face.
this. All right, he looks angry and it's kind of cute. He's got big eyes. He looks like an old man.
Funny. Yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh my God, isn't that funny and silly?
Ish.
Look
I
at
feel
this
like
one.
I'm going to
This
deflate
is a
the
picture
joy out of
him-
all of your favorite
Oh,
pictures.
no,
picture
it's
of him
okay.
surprised.
All right, that's funny.
Isn't that
that's
fun?
cute. He
He
you
looks
imagine,
like
but like,
shocked. Look at this
hey,
picture of
listener,
him.
Oh my god.
He looks. He made the craziest expressions.
listener, imagine like there's a baby that imagine just a regular face, and then someone really surprised it and it didn't like it.
But
And
it's
now,
tiny.
all right, so
No,
Genevieve, I'm
so
looking at this and I'm feeling nothing. So explain
she
this
is,
photo.
So no, I mean, but
Katie's
this is,
loving it.
This is
She's
how
cute.
she always is.
It's
In
a diva
every
baby.
She's loving
photo,
life. Are you kidding me?
So-
Look at that. Wait, go back to that first picture.
This baby just recently had open heart surgery.
Oh,
She had fucking open heart surgery. Look at her loving life.
all right. So this
Probably
baby is wearing
because, like,
a leopard print jacket,
Her mom's wig.
and a
a
wig.
red wig. She does look fierce. I'll give her
She's
fierce.
smiling like
I will show
I
you a
don't even
picture
know how
of
to
her
describe it.
moments. Like I kid you not, this baby is always smiling. Right out of surgery, she even tried to smile within minutes of waking up from open heart surgery. Like this kid, and I was like, okay. Normally, I'm kind of like, yeah.
I'm gonna ask you guys to send me all these pictures so I can post them on
Yeah, 'cause
Instagram.
Aaron's
So
like,
this is a
podcast
visual
is
medium.
terrible.
Yeah.
This was this baby right out of open heart surgery.
holy shit. Look at that. Okay, so
I was
for
just
those
like-
of
Yeah,
you
it's a baby
at
smiling.
home,
I know.
are
I was
you
like,
fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I think he's
That is a baby who has a fucking slit going from his clavicle to his sternum where he was cracked
Has
open
wires
and has
holding
his
his-
heart sliced open and he's got bloody stitches going up his precious tiny chest and she is fucking beaming smiling and Aaron is sitting here like big fucking whoop. When is the last time you had your heart fucking
wanna see-
surgeried
I wanna
and
see
then
an
you were
adult
like,
being like,
and then you were like
hey.
a giggly happy. I mean, look at that innocence.
Hold on
Now
one
look
second.
at that purity.
Yes, no,
That
no,
is
no.
a shining beam of
The
sunshine.
argument here is not that I am not flawed. I get that
No,
I am.
but
I am the
you have
bad
to-
person, and I am trying. I am.
You be
trying
better.
to like these babies, and I'm not. I just don't
Okay.
care.
Okay.
And I want to.
Okay.
I know I'm the villain. I don't want to be the villain, but I
You're
know
the villain.
I am.
Okay. You're the villain. Here's another one. Okay,
I need
maybe.
a cigarette.
So look at this. Here's a
smoke?
picture
No.
of a baby with kisses all over him who looks very unimpressed by the kisses.
Yeah.
Do you identify with that baby, maybe?
Right in this moment,
Are you
yes.
like, haha, that baby's like me, but it's tiny?
No, I get
That's
that baby's
fun
just
and
like,
cute.
okay, people were kissing me, and I
Also-
wish that they hadn't.
A really fun thing that I like to do with my granddaughter is draw on her face. I gave her eyebrows.
Gave her eyebrows.
Because
That's funny.
she doesn't have any.
Oh,
so I was
wow.
like, oh,
That's
baby,
scary.
you don't have any.
Guys,
I'm
this
going to
isn't
draw
doing
them.
anything for
Okay.
me.
No,
What
all
is
right,
wrong
all right.
with
He
me?
doesn't care. He has no facial recognition. He doesn't give a shit. Okay,
I
so he
recognize
doesn't
that
think
these are
babies
babies and that
cute.
they're
No,
doing
that's what I'm
odd
saying
things
is-
that
okay.
more babies too do.
So but what I was saying is that
He's fucking
biologically.
rageful.
No.
Everyone,
What?
I'm afraid. I am scared. Please call.
No, now I'm mad. Now
Why are you
I'm
mad?
having a tantrum because I don't get it.
Do
Don't
you
give
need to be
him
burped?
any attention.
Yes.
Do you need? Okay.
Listen, don't give him any attention because tantrums are just a want for attention, and we only give
Look at
positive
me.
reinforcement.
Look at me, Katy.
If you're having a hard time and you're feeling some emotions,
yes,
so I want you to just go in your room and you can go punch a pillow and feel your
I
emotions.
can't. There are no pillows.
Okay, well, go stomp your feet, and when you're ready to talk to me in a nice tone, you can come back. Okay,
I can be good.
You be good.
Yeah,
It's okay to be mad, Aaron.
I'm mad.
That's okay. People can be mad.
I'm mad because everyone gets babies and I don't, and I want to, but like then I'm wrong because I'm trying. I'm trying to think that these guys are cute, and it's not doing it for me. It's just not.
That's okay. You don't have to think babies are cute. We were just trying one way, but there are other reasons to love babies.
I want my blanket.
Okay, you can have your blanket, but will you talk to us nicely for the rest of the podcast?
Mm-hmm.
And no more screaming?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too, Katy. All right. So if we started
And
with me
see.
at I understand babies a lot better now.
Well, I was going
Do
to
you
say
respect them?
biologically.
Yeah.
Just to kind of settle that whole thing with faces and
Sure.
ugly old men babies and things like that. Genetically and biologically, our brains are wired both as like it doesn't matter what gender you are and whether you carry the baby or not. It's one of those moments that genetically and biologically we see a baby's face that we made. Majority of the time, it's like, oh, I am now drawn to that kid because I made that kid. It's this weird psychology and this connection, and it's been shown over and over and over in repeated psychology studies where parents don't see how ugly their kid is because they see it as cute because they made it.
Yeah.
So we are all looking at a kid and we're like, oh, that's a human. Oh, you
Yeah.
made an ugly one. You might look at your kid and be like,
You'll like
this
your
is
kid,
the
Aaron.
most amazing thing I ever made.
I'll
You'll think
absolutely
he's-
like my kid. Okay, so here's a question. Do you think that part of the reason you guys like babies so much more is that both of your motherhood, your parenthood instincts have kicked in at earlier ages than mine? So far,
Totally.
I'm an only child. I never had to take care of any other kids.
That makes so much
Yeah,
sense.
like I've never been surrounded
Now
by
I
babies.
understand.
I never. had that.
I know, we were just like, ding, there it is.
I mean,
So it's because I've never been in a parenthood role like you guys
that
have.
could
If
be.
you're an only child, how many cousins do you like? Any of your cousins already
I was
having
the
kids?
youngest.
Okay.
So
My cousin Randy married into having kids, and the other ones I'm close to don't really have kids now.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I took care of my little brother when he was a baby, and yeah, I mean, only children. Like, I'm sure they're all different, but like, you guys don't learn to. You kind of like build your own little worlds around yourself, and there's no one to challenge or like share that with.
So we
before
challenge
school.
the world.
So you challenge the world, but like parenting and like babies, you have to just like give up not give up part of yourself, but like it's a sacrifice.
It
and
is
they
really a
depend on
sacrifice.
you. They depend on you completely.
Mhm.
And if you have like no idea what it's like to have someone completely depend on you, unless if you maybe got like a helpless puppy or something.
I did have a puppy for a while, and like,
How did that go?
well, I liked it most of the time, and it was cute, and it was like more energetic than me. So it was like
Well,
a good barometer of knowing
like a child.
the world. Yeah. But I was in high school, whenever I had to sit down and do homework, like the dog would sit at my feet and stare up at me. And I'd be like, I can't, Luna. I'm doing homework right now.
Uh-huh.
And then it would just look so goddamn depressed because I couldn't give it attention. And that would make me angry. That would make me feel manipulated by the dog.
Oh my God. Yeah. So exactly going back to the beginning, kids and dogs are the same.
They are the same.
thing.
They are the same.
Yeah, because kids will look at you and they're like, but, I wanted to. And the difference being that kids aren't actually trying to manipulate you into like, I really wanted to. They're just.
But
still
dogs
at
are.
I would not put it past a dog. I've seen how dogs work where
Dogs
they're
are
like,
just like, I want to play with
I
you.
want this, but I'm going to. Maybe if I just do this and cry.
Maybe
Whereas-
if I arch eyebrows, then you play with dogs.
Exactly. Whereas kids are like, I just wanted to do this because that's what they're thinking. They're just feeling that emotion at that moment of like, I want this. Fine, I'm going to go cry now.
Okay. So
So,
it sounds like the best way for me to truly love babies is to make one.
yeah.
So
I think
until
that's, yeah.
that happens, I'm probably going to stay. Like, if we started with me at a 3, I understand babies a lot better now because of you two lovely people. I'd say I'm down to like a 1 or 2. Like,
So 1.5.
1.5. Yeah,
Because-
I've lowered, but I get that in the future, I will be at like off the scale. I'll love babies. I'll
You'll
get
love
it.
your baby.
I'll love my baby, and all other babies can suck it. But like my future
Yep.
baby's going to be great.
My
Yeah.
friend of that baby that I was showing you pictures of, the one that had
The
open
diva?
heart surgery. Yeah, the
Oh,
little
the
diva.
open heart. Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't like kids, didn't want kids. And then I was like, well, all right, I'm pregnant. I guess I'm having a kid. And like and they are the happiest. And now they actually have their own, because they are aware that they are people who hate children or hated previously. They made their own little separate private group on Facebook, so they aren't putting pictures of babies on their news feeds.
Oh, that's a considerate parent in the modern age.
There are things is that like people who hated children who now have been converted and are kind of like, yeah, but we are aware. Always be respectful of the other parents, because it's cute to go and look at the baby. Like every day I'm like, I'm going to go look at that cute kid if I'm having a shitty day. Because
Yeah.
that baby has been through hell
Yeah.
and is only 8 months old and is just like, hey, how you doing? I got 2 teeth and I got my
Aw,
tongue
they're
out
so
and I got a
goofy.
scar on my chest. But
What is
it's
that
like
wonder baby's name?
Hazel.
Hazel. That's a good name.
That's
Hazel,
a good.
the Wonder Baby.
Oh yeah, I got to love on that baby this last weekend. I was really
Ooh,
excited. I was excited because this baby was like, I don't quite know who you are, but I'm going to squeeze your face and I'm going to manipulate your face. And then the best part is, gave it back.
Yeah.
I was
All
like,
right, so I'm just going to borrow some
baby.
babies until it kicks
Yeah,
in.
Borrow some babies.
borrow babies.
And they're so soft, and they're so like you could just like put your little face on their cheek, and it's like do 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 do. It's like little cute little feathers.
Oh my God, I just love them. They're so soft
All right,
and
that does
smelly.
nothing for me, but okay.
I love that.
I
Katie,
like
do you have anything to plug?
Oh my God, baby! My uterus.
Plug my uterus.
I like to plug the ability to procreate. One, follow me, Katy Berry, KatyBerry. It's at Katy Berry Comedy on Facebook, because you can see a video I just came out with featuring the baby I've been talking about, Al, and the video is called The Best Defense. I have a bunch of comedy videos on katyberrycomedy.com. I also perform every week on Wednesday nights at the Magnet Theater with Sexy Baby. I perform every Saturday at the Pit with North Coast, and I have other shows all the time, every which way. So please go on my website, check it out, and become a fan. And it's great. We're gonna have a great time together, you and me.
And again, you perform in the legendary musical improv comedy group Baby Wants
Baby
Candy.
Wants Candy. We went to Edinburgh Fringe this summer, and it was
Nice.
great. Yeah, they're awesome. I love it. I love it.
Genevieve, what do you have to plug?
If you want to look at the pictures that I have of my grandbaby. No, I'm a burlesque performer who's in grad school. Like, Biggest thing, candy apples on Facebook. Like,
And I've seen you perform
plural
multiple
apples.
times.
You
You're
have seen me.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm pretty proud of being a grandma and still on stage.
That's amazing.
Been doing this for I've been doing this for almost 20 years.
And let me just say this for the people who are only listening to this episode and haven't looked up any pictures. You're a hot grandma. Like, you're just a hot person. And grandma is like a little asterisk. You're a hot person.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hottie.
I finally have officially two silver hairs. I'm pretty excited. I'm like,
Nice.
Like one is up here.
Yep.
And then the other one is down there.
Oh, I'm so scared for my first down there silver hair.
That was my very first one. I was really excited about
Oh my
that.
God,
I was
I'm
like,
not gonna be able to
but
do
my entire life I've been wishing that if I ever went gray, it would be like a skunk stripe. And I was like, what if that is where I get the skunk stripe?
It would be like that guy on The Sopranos, like who has the side white hairs. That his name.
I never watched the
Polly.
Sopranos.
I'd be like,
Polly or
I don't know.
or Big Pussy.
No, it's not Big Pussy.
Not Big Pussy. Okay. That was a Sopranos character. Right?
It was a
All right,
big,
good.
yeah.
And where can people find you
People
online?
can find me online on Facebook as Candy Apples or Twitter. I'm on the tweeters as MS_Candy Apples.
Ms. Candy Apples if you're
Ms. Candy
nasty.
Apples. Exactly. And then Instagram, IG is ms.candy.apples.
As for plugs for this old baby hater, I'd like to plug our bar, which I now write and perform in at Fulcha Irish Whiskey Bar here in New York. It's an original show every month, written and performed by amazingly talented people, and it all takes place in a bar. Also want to plug You Are Not Alone, an uplifting show about depression. Monday, January 15th at 9 p.m., also at the Magnet Theater. magnettheater.com. Check out Katy on there. Check out me on there. If you would like to reach out to me, you can. Hey, it's Aaron Gold on Twitter and Instagram. If you'd like to reach out to the show, it's Don't Mind Podcast on Twitter and Instagram, or you can email us at don'tmindpodcast@gmail.com. And finally, if you leave a review for this podcast on iTunes, I will read your name along with something that I like about you. Lindsay Ashlyn, I know you. And I like that if you change the last letter of your last name to a Y, your name is Lindsay Ashley, and then you have two first names.
That's a sign of an evil person.
Oh, okay, then I don't like that about you. Laya P. I like that or Leah P. or Laya P. I like that you are blatantly Calliope, and you're just trying to fool us all, but good job on the epic poetry. And Eastwinds. I like that you are kind of like reminiscent of like ominous power in a fantasy novel.
Ooh.
Like the East Winds are coming.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, Genevieve, Katy, thank you guys so much for being on. Thank you all for listening. And as always, keep on minded.